back. A new study published by the CDC reveals 1 in 3 kids, nearly 34%.
10 hidden food industry schemes that are cheating you blind. Are you sure you're getting enough fries when you buy fast food? Or have you ever chosen a larger drink just because it seemed like more? You may not realize it, but plenty of clever tricks are quietly picking your pocket every day when you step into a supermarket or fast food joint. From the shopping cart to the order of ingredients on product labels, everything is carefully calculated to make you spend more without even noticing. Comment 1 if you've ever suspected these invisible tricks. 1. Shopping carts are getting bigger. If you thought using a shopping cart was just for conveniently carrying items to the checkout, you might have fallen into one of the sneakiest sales tactics in modern retail. Over the past few decades, shopping carts haven't just changed in shape, they've grown significantly in size. Compared to the 1970s, many carts today are 3 times larger, with enough space to hold a week's worth of groceries, even if you only plan to buy a carton of milk. This extra space is a subtle psychological trap. When the cart looks empty, shoppers often feel like there's still room to add a few more items. A bag of cookies, a discounted soda, or an eye-catching snack strategically placed in the aisle. All these easily end up in your cart without you feeling like you're overspending. That's why many experts suggest using a hand basket or even carrying items by hand if you're only grabbing a few things. When your hands are full, you'll think twice before casually tossing in that 4th item. Here's another interesting tidbit. Smaller carts are becoming harder to find in supermarkets. While retail chains still offer 2 cart sizes, take a closer look. Aren't most of them the larger ones? That's no accident. Limiting smaller carts nudges you toward choosing the bigger ones, encouraging you to spend beyond your plan. This seemingly simple tactic generates billions of dollars for the retail industry every year. While consumers think they're in control of their wallets, the shopping cart quietly guides their every step, every purchase decision, and every rising receipt total. Something to think about, isn't it? 2. Container sizes can be deceiving. We like to believe we're smart consumers, capable of judging how much value we're getting for our money. But there's one thing many of us overlook, and probably still do every day: the size of the container. At first glance, a large portion, a jumbo soda, or a family-sized soup bowl seems like a great deal. But are you certain the amount of food inside is actually more than the smaller option? Many restaurants and brands have cleverly redesigned their cups, bowls, or containers to look larger while holding nearly the same volume. For example, a wide-mouthed but short cup might contain the same or even less liquid than a tall, narrow one. The big feeling comes from the width, not the actual contents. This is where consumers are most easily fooled, especially when hungry or caught up in the mindset of, if I'm ordering, I might as well go big. This trick not only makes you pay more for the same amount of product, but also taps into the psychology of chasing deals or saving money. When a menu shows that a large portion costs just a few bucks more than the medium, most of us opt for the large, thinking it's a better value. But in reality, the 2 portions might be almost identical in quantity, differing only in the shape of the container. Many people have shared that after buying a large soup bowl, they realized it held about the same amount as the smaller one they'd ordered before. Or they got a jumbo serving of fries, only to find it barely had more than the medium. The only real difference? That initial feeling of satisfaction and a higher bill. The key isn't the outer size, but the specific numbers on the nutrition label or the weight listed on the packaging. Next time, before paying extra just because it looks bigger, try comparing the 2 portions side by side. You might be surprised by the truth hiding in plain sight. 3. McDonald's fry box squeeze trick. If you've ever stood at a McDonald's counter, ordered fries, and felt a little let down, you're not alone. Many have experienced that moment when the fry box looks full but runs out after just a few bites. The reason might lie in one of the most controversial tactics in fast food: the gentle squeeze of the fry box. According to accounts from several former McDonald's employees, they were encouraged, or at least not discouraged, from lightly squeezing the back of the fry box before filling it. With a subtle press, the bottom of the box puffs up slightly, reducing the inner space without changing its overall shape. The result? Customers walk away with what looks like a full serving of fries but is actually less, in a slick and subtle way. Of course, McDonald's denies having any official policy like this and insists all portions are measured to standard. But that hasn't stopped the growing skepticism, as more customers and ex-employees post videos proving this box squeeze is very real. It's hard not to feel misled. As consumers grow savvier and more price-conscious, allegations that a giant like McDonald's uses deceptive tactics can shake trust. You're paying for a proper serving of fries, not just a pretty box. But it's not just about the fries. It's about the deliberate service habits that make customers believe they're getting what they paid for. When that trust is damaged, even a simple fry box can become a symbol of doubt. 4. Placing milk at the back of the supermarket. Think back to a time you walked into a supermarket just to grab some milk, but by the time you reached the checkout, your cart was overflowing with items not on your list. Cookies, a bag of chips, a few cans of soda, maybe even a new set of glasses. You didn't plan for any of it, yet you paid without hesitation. The reason might be as simple as this. Milk is placed at the back of the store. Store layout is a psychological art, and the retail industry has mastered it for decades. Placing essentials like milk, eggs, or butter at the far end of the store is a classic tactic. These are items nearly every household buys. To reach the milk aisle, you have to pass through a gauntlet of tempting displays. As customers weave deeper into the store, they fall into a carefully crafted spending trap. They encounter eye-catching displays, limited-time deals, or products placed at eye level. That's when impulse buying kicks in, the urge that makes you grab a bag of snacks or try a new sauce. What's more, the longer your shopping trip, the more time you have to browse and get lured into unplanned purchases. A U.S. study found that the longer customers stay in a store, the more likely they are to spend over 30% on unnecessary items. That's why you often leave with more than just the one thing you came for. This strategy sounds simple, but is incredibly effective. When shoppers don't notice, it quietly works its magic every day in supermarkets big and small. By guiding you from the milk aisle to every other section, retailers don't just sell milk. They sell fleeting moments of joy and sometimes the confusion of staring at your receipt. 5. Serving food that doesn't match your order. You order a chicken sandwich with no sauce, but when you open the box, it's slathered with creamy dressing. You pick decaf coffee to sleep better, but you're up all night with a racing heart. Or you ask for low-fat mayo and get the full-fat version. These seemingly small mix-ups happen every day, and few people notice. This is one of the sneakiest tricks in the fast food industry, serving food that doesn't match your order. When ordering, especially through fast delivery apps, getting the wrong item isn't rare. But what's notable is that often you don't get a completely different dish, just a close enough version that's harder to spot. For instance, swapping decaf for regular coffee or low-fat sauce for the standard kind. Changes that are tough to detect with the naked eye but can significantly impact your health or experience. Some former fast food workers have shared that during busy hours, to save time or when ingredients run low, staff might improvise with substitutes as long as the dish looks the same. In some cases, it's done deliberately to cut costs, since customers rarely check closely or can taste the difference. This is especially concerning if you're on a diet, sensitive to caffeine, or have health issues. These small changes can have serious consequences. In an era where consumers care more about food origins and ingredients, these subtle swaps are a quiet betrayal. 6. Ads that look nothing like the real thing. Have you ever stared at a fast food poster showing a juicy hamburger with golden cheese, crisp lettuce, and perfectly grilled meat that looks like a work of art? Then, minutes later, when your order arrives, you sigh. The burger in your hands is lopsided, the cheese is smeared, and the bun is flat, like it's been through a rough journey. Welcome to one of the fast food industry's slickest visual tricks, the gap between ads and reality. Behind those glossy photos is a professional team of food stylists, photographers, and clever techniques. They might use toothpicks to keep the lettuce and bun in place, add oil for a shiny look, or swap in fake ingredients, wax for ice cream, shaving cream for whipped cream, or glue to keep the bun from collapsing. All for one goal, to make the food so irresistible you open your wallet on the spot. This pretty picture, an average product tactic, isn't limited to big chains. Coffee shops, mid-tier restaurants, and even food delivery apps use it too. The stunning photo is the first thing you see when you open an app, but the real dish can make you want to close it right back. Consumer surveys show over 60% of customers have felt disappointed when their food didn't match the ad. Studies also suggest diners might overlook the difference if the food still tastes good. But when both the look and taste fall short, trust in the brand takes a serious hit. 7. Confusing menu designs. Have you ever walked into a fast food restaurant, looked up at the menu board, and realized you're not quite sure what you're seeing? That's no accident. It's a carefully crafted tactic to make you spend more without even noticing. First, there's the size and placement of images. High-profit items like premium combos or dishes with extra toppings are displayed in the largest sizes and placed in the top left corner, where your eyes naturally land first, following the left-to-right reading habit. Meanwhile, simpler, less profitable items are pushed to the bottom corner, with smaller, less vibrant images or no pictures at all. This makes you gravitate toward the pricier options before you even notice the more budget-friendly ones. Next, there's the font and color scheme. Prices are often printed in small, faint text or placed in hard-to-spot locations to avoid shocking you. Some places use soft, gentle fonts to create the illusion that the price isn't that high, even when you're paying a hefty sum. And those familiar price tags like $9.99 or $8.89? They're used repeatedly to trick you into thinking the item costs less than $10 when the difference is just a few cents. Another sneaky factor is time pressure. As you approach the counter with a line of people behind you, the psychological urge to hurry pushes you to make quick decisions. In that rush, you don't have time to carefully compare options. You pick what's easiest to read or stands out the most. Usually the item the restaurant wants you to choose, not the best deal for your wallet. 8. Splitting sugar into multiple names. One of the sneakiest tricks in the food industry is disguising sugar under multiple names on ingredient lists. It sounds harmless, but this misdirection makes it hard to realize you're consuming far more sugar than you should each day. Instead of listing sugar at the top of the ingredients, manufacturers break it down into various names like sucrose, dextrose, corn syrup, cane sugar, maltose, fructose, high fructose, corn syrup, brown sugar, molasses, grape sugar, and a host of artificial sweeteners. Each is listed separately, scattered among other ingredients, so it's tough to see that sugar often makes up a huge portion of the product. If you're trying to eat healthily, quickly scanning the ingredient list for sugar in the top 3 isn't enough. Even if sugar isn't explicitly listed, the combined sweeteners can make a product loaded with empty calories. This is why many items marketed as low sugar or sugar-free still lead to weight gain, insulin spikes, or heart health issues. A smart tip is to check the nutrition facts label, where manufacturers must list the total sugar per serving. No matter how they disguise the ingredients, this number tells the unfiltered truth. Products like granola, fruit yogurt, or protein bars, seemingly healthy, can pack 15 to 25 grams of sugar per serving, sometimes exceeding an adult's daily recommended limit. 9. Fake healthy labeling. How many times have you picked up a snack bar that looks healthy, boasting claims like high in fiber, low fat, packed with superfoods, or 100% natural? But when you dig into the ingredient list, you're shocked to find it's barely better than candy or fried junk food. This is the fake healthy labeling trick, a tactic that preys on modern consumers who prioritize clean eating, heart-healthy foods, or weight loss. Instead of making truly healthier recipes, some brands sprinkle in a few buzzworthy ingredients like chia seeds, oats, or dried blueberries, then plaster those names in bold on the packaging, even if they make up a tiny fraction of the product. Take breakfast cereals marketed as rich in fiber and vitamins. Some can contain up to 30% sugar. Or those fit granola bars with bold claims on the front, while the back reveals calorie counts rivaling a chocolate bar. The deception gets even slicker with padding, adding healthy-sounding ingredients in such small amounts that they offer no real nutritional benefit. 10. Product placement and store layout in supermarkets. Have you ever walked into a supermarket planning to grab just a few essentials, only to leave with a cart full of items you didn't intend to buy? If this happens often, it's not because you lack willpower. It's because you've wandered into a psychological maze carefully designed by retail experts, far more cunning and subtle than you might think. Every detail, from the store's pathways to the placement of products on shelves, even the lighting and colors, is meticulously studied to make you spend more. The first trick is product placement. High-profit items or new products are displayed at eye level, easy to see and easy to grab. Meanwhile, essentials, cheaper items, or less profitable products are relegated to the bottom shelves or tucked high near the ceiling, forcing you to bend down or stretch up, making them naturally less appealing. Another tactic is the maze-like layout of aisles, guiding you on a winding path through countless displays before you reach your destination. Notice how milk, eggs, or fresh produce, things almost everyone buys, are often at the very back of the store. This forces you to pass dozens of shelves stocked with snacks, sodas, and treats, tempting you to grab just one more thing. Then there's the soft music, gentle lighting, and the aroma of freshly baked bread or rotisserie chicken wafting from the hot food section. These elements awaken your emotions, spark your appetite, and make you feel at ease, loosening your grip on your wallet. That comfort isn't random. It's a deliberate psychological strategy to encourage mindless buying. Now you see it clearly. Behind the tempting products and seemingly random aisles lies a calculated plan to make you spend more without realizing it. If you find these insights helpful, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our videos.